It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 Dick, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Okay, we are pleased now to be joined in the media center by Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota. Right now coming into this race, Denny is currently 8th in points, but he has a great track record here at Pocono. 2 years ago, swept both of the races here. Denny, you're very, very strong here. I believe your average finish here at Pocono is 2.8. What can you attribute that to? Is this just one of those tracks that is made for you, or what do you think?
I don't know. I think it's just have a feel for it, and we were fortunate to have a race-winning car the first time I came here, so I kind of based my feel ever since I came back off of that. Even though we're in a different race car now, once you have a winning combination at a racetrack, it's easier to go back and try to find that same combination than it is if going somewhere that you struggled and trying to figure out what it is you need to win. So I think it's just it's kind of a snowball effect from the first race.
Questions now for Denny Hamlin. If you have one, we'll bring you the wireless. State your name, affiliation. We'll start right here.
Chris Gill, the leader in Corning, New York. Following what you did last year at Watkins Glen, just how much more confident are you going there this year?
Definitely quite a bit. Finishing second last year to Tony and having a shot to win it. I think we got to Jeff's bumper with a few laps to go there, and just weren't able to capitalize. But it's just really been successful at road course racing for some reason. It's just to me it's a lot like short track racing. The cars are set up very similar to that, and that's where we tend to excel. So when we go back to Watkins Glen, there'll definitely be kind of a momentum from hopefully this week, last week, and from years past.
Next question, we got one over here. If we could bring Mike, and then we've got actually two over here.
Denny, Josh Reed, ABC 27 out of Harrisburg. I'm assuming you go to every race thinking you can win, but when you come here, what's that confidence like? I'm sure you believe you can win when you come here.
Definitely. It just, I don't know. It seems like when I come here in the first lap on the racetrack, I know exactly what I need right away. At some racetracks, it takes a little while, but here it's just a comfort level that I've just acquired. And it all came back to, the very first time I came here, I just went and followed Mark Martin for 2 laps. I waited on somebody, so I figured he was a good guy to follow, and ever since then, it's just kind of taken off. So it seems like he definitely showed me the line around here, and I've just kind of refined it since then.
Go ahead.
Denny, Bob Matthews from WVPO on Lake 93.5 FM here in the Poconos. Does it make much of a difference? The last many years we had the 2 races of Pocono not that far apart, and now they spread them out a little further, after the Brickyard. Does that make any difference? Does that make it a little easier now coming back to Pocono, or doesn't it really matter?
It does. It's good for us because, the 9 car was very strong when he was here, and hopefully, we learned so much with these cars from week to week that, probably what he had, is not going to be the perfect race setup when he comes back, and with it being closer, I think that's what made us successful. The first years, the dates were close, the weather was fairly close, so with it being spread out a little bit more, I think for sure you're gonna have to change your setup quite a bit. So it's good for us in this aspect that they spread them out, but I do like it, especially following the Brickyard. You have 2 very similar racetracks there, so. I definitely like having the Brickyard before here.
Denny,
Go ahead.
Jim Coles from WNEP, the ABC affiliate in the area. Talk about the length of this track. It's a long day for the drivers. A lot of guys, I know you particularly, were really whipped from the last race here at Pocono. And how do you keep your focus through a hot, grueling day like that? Because I remember last year when you run the race, you had a little sidestep on the backstretch there and everything worked out. But it's a long, tough race, isn't it?
It really is. For some reason, this seemed like the very first year here, I didn't the 500 miles didn't even faze me. It seemed like it went by actually pretty fast. But it just seems like over the last couple of years it's taken a little bit longer for whatever reason. I think a lot of it had to do with the pace. Last race here was really, really slow, so the race took a lot longer than what it had in the past. So the temperatures were very hot. I think it was one of the first hot days of the year for us. So, since then we've ventilated our cars a lot more. There's done a lot of things to help with driver comfort, so I really don't see an issue this time around when it comes to that.
Go ahead.
Denny, Ashley Tatum from the Times Tribune in Scranton. We keep talking about the successes you've had at Pocono and all this kind of stuff, but this weekend you're going to be going into race number 100. I wonder if you have any thoughts on that. Does this make the race a little bit more special for you, anything like that?
It does. I don't know. I don't know in history if someone's won in their 100th start or not, but it'd be a fun thing to have, kind of. To get my very first points win here, and then my 100th win here, or 100. I wish 100 wins.
100th career start.
Yeah, to get a win on that. So I mean, it definitely it does make it a little bit more special, but I think it's fitting that it comes here on this racetrack.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Harris, AP. Denny, over here. A lot of the drivers who have come in here today are talked outside, talking about a week after the problems at Indy about the tires. Any thoughts about last week, the aftermath? What you think about what happened and what might be done in the future to prevent it?
Well, I think it's going to be tough. These cars are so tough on right side tires. It's going to be tough for Goodyear to come up with a perfect tire for there, unless we all go test there together. They're not going to be able to come up with that combination. It looks like they are going to do it. I've heard throughout the garage that they are going to have a test there next year, so I'm sure that they're going to do everything they can to keep it from happening again. But I mean, realistically, that track did something that we've never seen it do before, and that's not take rubber. So they couldn't have predicted that in the test, and they couldn't have predicted that in practice. So to their credit, I've never seen it not take rubber and it just really didn't.
Reagan Swan, NASCAR.com. What about tire issues on the whole, Denny? Outside of Indy, do you think NASCAR or Goodyear needs to be doing more things to prevent issues at other tracks?
Well,
new car.
Definitely. This car is just so much different than the car previous that, we do need to have different combinations at different tracks. I do, however, think it's good that Goodyear's starting to bring softer tires back to the racetrack. It seemed like last year we were kind of going through a phase where we were having all these hard tires, and that was a lot of the complaining last year, was that tires are way too hard, they're chatter, you can't race on them. So they've at least tried to work on that, and they've gotten a lot better. To have excess tire wear is usually an odd thing to have, an odd problem to have. So I think they're trying to work at it, but I think as soon as they kind of got it figured out, the tire that they needed on the old car, we switched to this new car, which wears on the tires even more, so it's kind of, they're going to have to learn all over again. So I think that's why it's taking longer.
Other questions for Denny? Anybody? Denny, you asked about drivers who have won on their 100th career start. There's only been 7 in the entire history of the sport that have done that. So
I was surprised there was that many.
Yeah, that would be, you'd be in a select group, though. Carl Edwards did it a year ago at Michigan. That was his 100th career start, and he won. But before that, you got to go back to Fred Lorenzen, 1965. So it's been quite a while, and good luck, and hope you're able to accomplish it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.